Alright, what is up everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video. We're back in Midwest Adventure. I know it's been a hot minute, quite a few days anyways, because we've been working a lot on the Time Traveler recreation, but I thought I'd get back into it finally, because we were so close to finishing up this Dark Ride, and this Dark Ride log flume hybrid, whatever you want to call it, Wraith River Falls is what it's called, but we finally got it finished, and pretty exciting because we got it just under 4,000 pieces, which means I will be able to upload it to the workshop. I don't think I have it up just yet, but keep a lookout for that in the coming times. So I'm going to try and get it on the workshop pretty soon. So if you do want to use this for your parks, you're more than welcome to. But it's nothing too crazy of a dark ride. In this last section, we don't really do much. It's more of the holding section anyways, because you go through that finale. So it's mostly just more foresty stuff and closing up the rest of the building. We do work a little bit on the station in this episode as well. So that's pretty cool. And then basically, yeah, we get the entrances down, and it's going to be pretty awesome. And of course, we had to make sure the exit was ready to go as well, and make sure everything's enclosed, and make sure the exterior looks pretty decent as well. So I did add some details on the exterior, especially for where the guests can see, to make sure that the building looks solid or pretty decent. It does look kind of more like a warehouse. I mean, that's kind of the feel it's supposed to have anyways, so it's not that big of a deal, because it kind of has that backstage vibe already with what it is. So it's still pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm still not the greatest at dark rides, but I want to get into them so much, and I want to get my dark ride skills a little bit better, because once we get into our next park, we're going to be doing quite a few of them. So that's something that's super exciting as well. I can't wait to get into those dark rides, because those are going to be amazing. The ones that we're going to do for the the big Epic Universe inspired park. Which hopefully will be starting soon. I don't have an exact time frame of that, but it's basically going to be after Midwest Adventure is completed, which we are getting closer to closing up on this park. We have one more major coaster I think we're going to build, and that's going to be a haunted mine train coaster, which is going to be to the right of this ride. Because we have kind of like the ghost section of the park, I guess, is what we kind of decided to go with. It kind of developed into that after I named the inverted coaster the Phantom, and then kind of gave this a ghost theme. I was like, I guess we're in a ghost themed kind of a section of the park at this point. So that's kind of where that kind of came from, honestly. So pretty cool. But yeah, so I didn't do too much crazy detailing here, because I knew most of it's going to be pretty dark inside here, so we didn't do a ton of stuff. And, you know, if I'm going to be honest, I wanted to get it completed, and again, this is more of the holding section anyways for the boats, so there's not going to be a ton in here, because the grand finale is the grand finale, which is the drop after the main parts of the ride. So I guess in the end we defeated the wraith of the ghost that was haunting this this river, you know, or something like that along those lines. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of a story there, but it's nothing too crazy, of course, because this is not a super big themed park. The idea of this park is it's kind of a budget park that tries to do a little bit theming here and there, but they're not that great at it. So it is more kind of your Cedar Fair, Six Flag-ish type of, I guess, park. Maybe a little bit higher quality, I would say, potentially. But it's, yeah, but going into, we got the station here. I wanted to do something kind of interesting, so we did these logs as kind of like the support structure for the station. I figured it'd be really cool for the theme, and get some more wooden pieces in there as well. And I really, this station ends up being pretty dark as well. You know, some very light lighting. I've noticed that the cars, or the logs, come in all exactly the same type of crooked. I don't know if that has something to do with the flume update, where, you know, they're not all naturally straightened anymore, and I think it's affected some of the other rides as well. So that's kind of interesting how the cars aren't coming in straight anymore. It's kind of weird, and it wouldn't be so bad, but they all come in crooked at the exact same angle, and that makes it kind of not natural. So I think it's kind of a small bug that has happened since the change of the flumes, maybe, and it ended up affecting a lot of the rides overall. So hopefully that's something Frontier can look into. I mean, it's kind of like a minor thing, but I think I saw someone saying that it's been happening on coasters as well. I personally haven't seen that, but I guess I haven't really looked too hard into that either. So, but I haven't really seen that. So, I mean, the main coaster I've been working on is a mock extreme spinning coaster, so since the update. So anyways, I wanted to do some very subtle lighting in here, and that is basically the theming, because like it being very dark in here was kind of the idea of the theming, and it actually works really well just being dark in here. I was going to decorate it up, but I don't think we really need to, and again, if I want to keep under the piece count, I think it's important that we keep it the way it is. So this station actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. And then, of course, I knew I had to go in and add some lighting around the last section of the ride, just kind of highlighting a lot of the trees and foresty stuff in here. So I did switch it up and do a few different colors here and there, but mostly it's a lot of green, which is what we wanted to go with. And then I had to have the monumental task of making this building look at least somewhat presentable to the guests, because like it's just like a big warehouse at this point. So I did add a little bit of a nice little entrance here, and nothing too crazy because it's supposed to look old, beat up, and kind of warehousey. That is kind of like the vibe I was going for in the first place. So we had a lot of moss and a lot of greenery, that kind of like overgrown stuff. Where it looks like the plants are taking over, a few damaged pieces on the wall, which I love those pieces, by the way. I love that we have them. And I haven't really found a good use for them yet, so I was happy to use a few of them here for this build, which is pretty cool. So, and then, of course, I wanted to make a nice little entrance for this ride, of course, with a good, nice little sign and everything for the priority and main entrance for the buildings, and then also just kind of touch up the exterior of the warehouse building all as well. So I think it turned out pretty good. It's one of the better dark rides I think I've made. It's nothing too insane or crazy and by any means, but I think it turned out pretty good. Again, I've never been really great at dark rides, but I'm really starting to familiarize myself with a lot of techniques and really just storytelling and such like that, because when you do have these indoor rides, you have to do so much theming for it to look decent, and it can be harder to achieve that at sometimes. So, but I think this turned out pretty cool, and it also gives the park a nice little water ride as well, as a part of the park. So even though we do have a water park, you know, it is nice to have a water ride in the dry park as well. So I think off to the side of this, we're going to be doing that haunted mine train, arrow mine train, which will be really, really nice. It will give the park a little bit of a classic twist as well, because it's mostly a modern park so far, and we haven't had any like crazy classic rides yet. So I think putting an arrow mine train in there will give the park a little bit of history, as some people would say, and it was very highly suggested to put into the park as well, and it will give the park a nice kind of like another nice family coaster, something that's not too intense, no inversions, and it'll just be a nice overall addition to the park, and it will really kind of make this area of the park kind of get a little bit more busy, I think. So ever since the update, a lot of people have been going to the water park, and the changing rooms have been super crowded. I think you might see it for half a second at the end of this video, and I'm not entirely sure how to fix that other than add more changing rooms, I guess. But it's just crazy how many people are using it. Like hopefully, because it was so crowded that guests were getting stuck. So maybe that is somewhat of a bug, but at the same time, everyone just wants to go to the water park, which is just crazy that, you know, at one point before the update, no one wanted to go to the water park that often, but now they do. So, but I wanted to add some details on the building with some of these air ducts and stuff like that. We still might add a few more things to this building, but for the most part, we do pretty much, I am kind of considering it complete at this point. It's not the most complete by any means, but it's definitely pretty complete at this point. So pretty happy with how it turned out, and just these little extra pieces of detail actually did add quite a bit to this building. So anyways, yeah, so there's not much more to really talk about in this build, except that I look forward to be on the workshop pretty soon, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And then the next episode, we will probably start on the mine train, maybe even a restaurant before we get into the mine train, but I'd like to get into the mine train in the next episode, and then that will probably be the last major attraction for the park. And that will give us a good 4 solid coasters in the park. We might do a kiddie coaster at some point, maybe like a children's section at the very least. Also, I wanted to cover up this little smoke that's coming through the roof, so we did add a little bit extra layer on this part of the roof, but that was about it. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more amazing content like this. If you guys want to see these episodes early, be sure to hit that join button. You can support me further and become a member. It's only $5 a month, and your perks are you get to watch my episodes early. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, if you want more Planet Coaster 2 content and news, and I will see you guys in the very next episode of Midwest Adventure. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Thanks, and goodbye.